Somewhere in this city, on a quiet, plastered wall, someone once scratched a line of verse, "Nothing can last forever." He had no idea how right he was. This is the story of the last 24 hours of Pompeii. August 79 AD. The morning sun rises over a city of more than 10,000 people in the shadow of a green and silent mountain. Pompeii is alive. In the bakeries, 80 loaves of bread are sliding into the ovens, stamped with the baker's name as the law required. The streets smell of fresh bread, fish sauce, and wood smoke. In the baths, the water is already warm. Wine shops chalk up the day's prices. Children chase each other across stepping stones, and everywhere the walls talk. Election slogans, lovers' boasts, insults, poetry. The people of Pompeii believed they lived in the safest, richest corner of the empire. The mountain above them didn't even have a name for what it was. No word for volcano existed in their Latin. For days, the ground had been trembling. Small quakes rattled dishes, but earthquakes were common here. 17 years earlier, a big one had cracked half the city, and they had simply rebuilt. Wells and springs had gone strangely dry. Dogs grew restless. No one connected the signs. Why would they? The mountain had slept for hundreds of years, longer than anyone's memory, longer than their god stories reached back. Around midday, the mountain exploded. A column of ash and pumice punched 30 kilometers into the sky, twice the height a passenger jet flies today. The blast was heard for hundreds of kilometers. Day turned to night. And then it began to rain. Not water, but stone. Pumice fell like hail for hours, piling up on rooftops, centimeter by centimeter. Some fled immediately, carrying children, coins, keys to houses they would never see again. Others sheltered, waiting for it to pass. Roofs began to collapse under the weight. By evening, the streets were buried waist-deep. Across the bay, a 17-year-old boy stood watching the cloud rise. His name was Pliny. He would later describe it as a great pine tree of smoke, climbing into the sky on a trunk of fire. His uncle, commander of the Roman fleet, did something remarkable. He turned his warships toward the eruption, sailing into the falling ash to pull survivors from the shore. He never came back. And because of that letter, written by a teenager, this is the only eruption of the ancient world we can still watch through human eyes. Through the night, those who stayed pressed cloth to their mouths, huddled in cellars, listened to the world falling on their roofs. Then, near dawn, the eruption column collapsed, and something far worse came down the mountain. A pyroclastic surge, a wall of gas and ash at hundreds of degrees, moving faster than anything alive could run. It crossed the city in moments. For the people of Pompeii, it was over in less than a breath. The city fell silent, and the ash kept falling until even the rooftops disappeared, and Pompeii was gone from the face of the earth. And Pompeii was not alone. Closer to the mountain lay Herculaneum, a wealthy seaside town. Its people fled to the stone boathouses by the shore and waited through the night for rescue ships that could not land. The surge reached them first. 300 skeletons still lie in those arches today, huddled together, families to the end. The sea they were watching never came for them. The survivors never rebuilt. In time, even the city's location was forgotten, a place called simply La Civita, the settlement, sleeping under vineyards. Not until 1748 did excavators begin to dig. What they found stunned the world. A Roman city stopped mid-moment, bread still in the ovens, prices still chalked on walls, and strange hollows in the hardened ash. In the 1860s, the archaeologist Giuseppe Fiorelli realized what they were, the spaces where bodies had been. He filled them with plaster, and the people of Pompeii came back. The ash preserved everything. Not just walls and streets, but the small things. A half-eaten meal left on a table, eggs still whole in their bowl, a surgeon's tools folded and ready for the next patient, coins in a purse dropped mid-flight. Even the hollows left by tree roots in garden soil, so precise that botanists could replant the very same species in the very same places. Pompeii is not a monument. It is an ordinary Tuesday, 2,000 years old. A mother shielding her child, a man covering his face, a dog still chained at the door, frozen exactly as they died 19 centuries ago. But science can go further now. From the bones inside the casts, we can rebuild the faces of Pompeii. Not emperors, not legends. A young woman, ordinary people, who woke up on an ordinary morning in a city they believed would last forever. Pompeii didn't fade away like other lost cities. It stopped. Mid-sentence, mid-meal, mid-life. That's why it haunts us. It isn't a ruin, it's a moment, held in ash for 2,000 years. Nothing can last forever, but some things are remembered. Subscribe and travel back with us again. Which moment in history should we bring back next?